And Pickersgill at fullback. The wing three-quarter line of Jai Hitchcock's 3-7s, Jake Webster and Ethan Ryan. The half-back partnership, Jordan Lilly and Dane Chisholm. The forwards, Liam Kirk, Manny Wildy, Steve Crossley, Matt Garside, Elliot Minchella and Sam Hallis. And on the interchange bench, George Flanagan.
Short kick-off here, Mick. Sorry to interrupt. The Bulls have gone a short kick-off off the kick-off. Jordan Lilly went short and they've retained possession from the kick-off. We said this might be interesting early on and they've certainly mixed it up there, the Bulls. They're on the attack, 10 metres out, right in front.
Bradford coming up with the ball from the restart, the kick-off. Manny Wildy along the line to Chisholm, to Pickersgill, looking for Ethan Ryan, who's going to try and score in at the corner. The referee, though, will say Ethan Ryan has just gone dead in goal. The try will not count. We've only had 30 seconds remaining on the clock. You can hear the boos and jeers, but what a sensational start from John Keir and the Bradford Bulls.
Really interesting tactic that, Mick. You know, the teams have been warming up. We said this had a massive sense of occasion. Mixing it up and doing something out of the ordinary really had an effect there from the Bulls. A short kick-off to start a game of this size is very unusual. They retain possession and have really just flustered the York City Knights there very early on. Great tactic. York have it now, coming out off their own 40 metres.
Both sides going to be looking for good completion, a good, positive, hungry start to this one. The York City Knights 5 metres shy of the halfway line as it goes out of dummy half from Chris bringing to Ronan Dixon. Dixon brought down in a two-man tackle. Bringing once again decides to go down the middle as the fullback Matty Marsh will alleviate the burden on the forwards. It's the fifth and last tackle for the York City Knights. The 40 metres away from the Bradford line. The kick's going to come in from Connor Robinson, taken by Hitchcocks. And Jai Hitchcocks takes that one 5 metres out from his own try line. Bradford this afternoon, all white, red, amber and black, the classic traditional home strips of Bradford Northern and Bradford Bulls of yesteryear, and they're going to move the ball via Jordan Lilly out of dummy half, and it will be his pass on this right edge towards Hitchcocks, and he will take the second tackle on this set of 6 for the Bradford Bulls. We've had 2 minutes gone here on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2 this afternoon, and it's been a promising and lively start here from the Bulls as Matt Garside will play the ball on tackle number 3. It'll go from Wildy to Kirk. Kirk looks for support. He's brought down on the last tackle on his own 35-metre line. Back it goes to Lilly. Lilly will kick from deep. He's going to split Ash Robson and Matty Marsh. Robson takes it on his own 10-metre line, and there it is, that red, amber and black wall of defence, defiance. And Robson will only discarry it outside his own 20-metre line. Oh boy, Damien, the Bulls and York, they're up for this.
Very, very strong kick chase there from the Bradford Bulls on the back of an excellent kick from Jordan Lilly. He kicked that from the 32-metre line and turned around Matty Marsh there at the fullback and got him going backwards in retreat. The kick was only as good as the chase, though, and it's an excellent chase from the Bulls. Very, very good first set off their line.
A real buzz around Odsal this afternoon as the York City Knights up and over halfway looking for options, but Wildy slams the door shut. That's the last tackle for the York City Knights. It's been played at a blistering pace as Wildy goes a little bit late on Robinson. The ball's been lost behind the line by Pickersgill. He was facing his own post, so the referee Greg Dolan from Batley says play on, and Bradford will attack York from deep inside their own 20-metre line. And a huge sigh of relief for James Ford and the York City Knights as Connor Robinson gets back to his feet after a bit of contact from Manny Wildy after the kick. Rhys Evans in at dummy half. Garside will play the ball on this main stand side. Back it goes to Lilly. Webster's away with a break. Webster hurrying away inside the York half, and the pass is mistimed to Hitchcocks. It's forward anyway. Jipe Hitchcocks picks the ball up, goes hurrying away towards the York line. The Bulls have bombed one inside 5 minutes. The first error of the afternoon for the Bulls in open play. There was a huge gap. It just opened in the middle, and Jake Webster was away, rolling back the years.
Yeah, Jake Webster came in on the 32-metre line there. He sniffed a little bit of room in the centre there. He took it one off the ruck and found too much space, really, for York City Knights. A great line break. He had Jai Hitchcock well positioned in support, but to be fair, it was a poor pass from Webster, and it really should have been under the sticks there for Jai Webster. A let-off for York City Knights. First line break of the game's come in the first 4 minutes. Not a good sign from York City Knights with the Bulls coming out of their own end, Mick.
No penalties thus far. 5 minutes gone on the clock as York just move the ball up to their own 40-metre line. They're going predominantly down this middle channel, although they're now going to shift it on that right-hand edge, which we'll see Ethan Ryan coming to that defensive line along with Jake Webster. Ash Robson out of dummy half. He will straighten up and he'll be brought down on the fifth and last tackle for the City Knights on the Bradford 40-metre line. Once again, it's going to go back towards Connor Robinson. Robinson towards Jai Hitchcox, who has a bit of hesitancy. Lets the ball bounce. Pickersgill will recover from behind, and Pickersgill's brought down on the Bradford 15-metre line. It's Lillian at dummy half towards the Welsh international Rhys Evans. Evans, one try for the Bulls this season. That was scored in the 31-12 win away at Swinton in round 2. He's brought down on tackle number 2. Lillian at dummy half to Garside. Tackle number 3 completed. It's now going to go with Hitchcox on tackle number 4. They're still 12 metres shy of the halfway line here, the Bulls. Wildy now in at dummy half as Lily goes back into the halves with Chisholm, and that's the fifth and last tackle for the Bulls. 5 away from the halfway line. Ball goes to Chisholm. Chisholm just outside his own 40-metre line, and once again he's going to split Matty Marsh and Judda Maziv on this occasion, and the ball bounces up kindly for Matty Marsh, the prominent York fullback, and York really looking to get a stranglehold on this one. It's a bit of an arm wrestle at the minute. Just some little intricate moves, but Judda Maziv on tackle 2. 12 shy of halfway. 6.5 minutes gone on Pulse 2 this afternoon. And there's no score, although the Bulls have gone almighty close. York allowed the ball out of hands after the 2 tacklers had been committed. And John Cade will be looking to stop that from happening. But a huge crowd inside Odsall once again. Potentially 5,000 plus here this afternoon. Great to see as the York and Bradford bring the best out of each other. And here we go. They were away on this left-hand edge. Pickersgill with a try-saving tackle there. Bringing down the York second row forward. It's a quick play the ball. Joe Batchelor with that line break. Ethan Ryan's lost the ball. York looking to score into the corner. They will score. It's Ash Robson after the Ethan Ryan error. And the crossfield kick there from Connor Robinson. They have struck gold first. It's Bradford Bulls 0, York City Knights 4. And it is Ash Robson in at the corner. And that all came about Damien Joe Batchelor making 30 metres on the diagonal.
It was a magnificent pass there on the outside. They had numbers. The Bulls had them well covered on the right-hand side. But a beautiful pass. Just put Batchelor on the outside of his man. And to be fair, Rhys Evans was found wanting there in the centre position in the defence. He let him get through, and it was a very, very good line break. Good covering tackle, must be said, from Brandon Pickersgill, who'll stop the attack there. However, the next play, the York City Knights moved it very quickly to the right-hand side. Got a kick on which Ethan Ryan got hands too, but I could only push it forward, and the try was very well finished there in the corner. Must be said, a little bit against the run of play there. The 2 opportunities have come for the Bulls to this stage, but the first real possession they had down at the Bulls' end, York City Knights have capitalised on that. They've been having to go around the ruck very closely, York City Knights. They've been coming out of dummy half at the Bulls before they've been spreading it wide. It was a very well-worked move, and it must be said, that's really game on now. I don't think Bulls expect to be down this early, particularly as they've had the lion's share of possession. York have, though, completed 4 of 4 sets now, and all kicks have gone on Robinson's side, so the Bulls might have to start looking to put a bit more pressure on him, as they have been with Hallis and the dummy halves. But danger signs there, just as they came through and moved it wide. You really can't be missing those one-on-one tackles and getting line breaks through your centres there.
Well, the try scored in the corner by Ash Robson. Adam certainly causing a whole host of problems there as that ball, as Damien said, the quick fast hands and Batchelor penetrating that Bulls defence. Is just a bit of delay in getting the restart underway. Jake Webster on the fast hand side just getting a little bit of strapping to the forehead, but Connor Robinson's conversion attempt, it just sailed across the face of the post. So despite Connor Robinson being 10 from 10 last week in that scintillating 9-try demolition job of Barrow, he has missed with his first opportunity this afternoon. But it was on the far stand side, and Bit of a shock to the system there for the Bulls, certainly against the run of play. So it's Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2.
Jake Webster just getting treatment for that head knock. He got that 2 matches ago here. He got a nasty head knock and it looks to have opened up again. Nothing too serious and he looks well enough. The kick-off now and York are starting to bring the ball back out of their own dead ball line.
So the York City Knights on their own 10-metre line. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest scores as they come in this afternoon from another action-packed afternoon in the Betfred Championship. And early doors, it is Swinton 0, Toulouse 14. So 3 early tries for Toulouse there at Haywood Road. It's Batley 6, Rochdale 0, and there's no score anywhere else in the Super League. Wigan 6, Hull FC 0. But York City Knights on the restart. They're 25 metres out from their own try line. And it is going to be Chris Bringing once again. Cool, calm, conservatively out of dummy half. Just gives it there to the second row forward, Graham Horn. We're on the last tackle. It'll be Connor Robinson from his own 30-metre line. And the ball will just get inside the Bradford 20. Pickersgill and Hitchcock's just deciding who was going to take the ball. Hitchcock's moved forward and he's brought down on tackle number 1 on his own 30-metre line. Pickersgill scoops out of dummy half, makes 10-15 metres forward, and on tackle number 2 the Bulls are just shy of the halfway line as Matt Garside on the third tackle is brought down in a 2-man tackle just inside the York half. It's going to go from Wilde to Evans. Evans on this right-hand edge, sucking in Marsh and Maziv. That's the 4th tackle gone. The Bradford Bulls 10 metres inside the York half as the interlinking qualities there of Lilly and Chisholm, but they've gone back down the middle as Chisholm lays the pass to Minchella, and Minchella is going to be brought down on the last tackle. Wilde out of dummy half. Peppers one behind the York defensive line, a little bit too much on that one, and that will be a 7-tackle set for the York City Knights on their own 20-metre line. 10 minutes gone, Bradford 0, York 4. It was Ash Robson's try in the 7th minute that opened the scoring.
John Key will be disappointed in that set, Mick, coming out of their own end for Bradford Bulls. Very disorganised. The pack were very slow to get back behind the back 3 there. They weren't back until tackle 2 and really lacked a little bit of direction in that set in attack, to be fair. And the kick at the end was a little bit rushed. Sam Hallis took it from dummy half and punched it dead. Bit of a wasted set there. The Bulls need to do better in possession.
The York City Knights 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Chris Bringing looking for options. Decides to just go down the right-hand hedge as Brad Hay is going to be brought down on the Bradford 30. Back they're going to come. Connor Robinson's going to kick early on the tackle count. That one is just going to hold up, is it? Pickersgill has to deal with it. And I tell you something now, a lot of pressure there from Pickersgill. And the York City Knights are going to be down to 12 men because Judder Maziv held Brandon Pickersgill back. It was perfectly weighted. It just hit the dead goal line. So it's a tap on the 20 for the Bulls. And that is a bit of a Blaine explosion there, Damien, from Judder Maziv. The correct call from the referee, Greg Dolan. It's a professional foul. Pickersgill wanted to go to the 20 and take the quick tap, and Judder Maziv stopped him in his tracks.
James Ford will be rightly fuming with that. That's a coach killer, Mick. They've just got the ascendancy. They put the first points on the board. They're playing better rugby league at the moment. All kicks from Connor Robinson have been very good. That was a very, very good kick indeed. He had Jai Hitchcock and Pickersgill at 50-50s as to whether they should play at that. It just sat up and rolled just over the dead ball line. They had a very well-set defensive line ready for the Bulls to come back off their own 20, and a very silly, petulant error there has seen him 10 minutes in the bin sent, and the Bulls now with a penalty coming off their own 20-metre line. That's the sort of ill-discipline that'll change this game, Mick. Very uncalled for and very disappointing for the York City Knights.
It's not a penalty to the Bulls because it was a dead ball situation. It will be a tap on the 20 and it'll be Lilly to Ryan, and it will be a 7-tackle set for the Bradford Bulls. But oh boy, Brandon Pickersgill showing a lot of composure there and a lot of maturity. He backed that ball. He was wishing the ball just to hit the dead ball line, and here we go, first penalty of the afternoon. York are penalised for a flop on Matt Garside, just shy of the Bradford 40-metre line, and that's going to be a welcome piggyback for John Kerr and the Bulls, Damien.
The 13th minute, first penalty of the game there for laying down in the ruck. It's been very well managed by the referee here. A little bit of ill-discipline creeping in from York there. Interestingly enough as well, Mick, only one handling error in his first 13 minutes of rugby league. Absolutely huge quality, this, from the championship sides. And that handling error was from the line break. The pass went to ground, Jake Webster to Jai Hitchcocks. Reece Evans now has it on the right flank, coming out 18 metres out from the right edge of York City Knights line.
Evans will get up quick, fast, play the ball in. Wildy to Chisholm. Chisholm probing. Across the face of the post it goes to Liam Kirk. Kirk smothered in a heap of York bodies, 15 metres out, centre field. Wildy going to go down the blind side towards Lilly. Lilly inside the York 10 is brought down 5 metres out. We've had 13 and a half minutes gone. Hallis has gone without the ball, and the referee's going to say play on. And Bradford, they've been caught waiting for the whistle that never was going to come, and Manny Marsh has made it almost up to the halfway line. Let's not forget the York City Knights. They have the numerical disadvantage with Judah Maziv in the sin bin, and the York City Knights 5 metres inside the Bradford half now, and once again it's that driving, effortlessly tenacious, rolling forward movement, bringing out a dummy half. Going to come on this left edge with Brad Hay. Hay's brought down just outside the Bradford 20-metre line. 14 minutes gone, and the York City Knights receive their first penalty of the afternoon in front of the post, 22 metres out, and James Ford has 2 fingers in the air. He says we will take the 2 points on offer this afternoon. More importantly, Damien, with Judah Maziv in the bin, it's going to run a minute off his sin bin time.
Very, very high quality start to the game, and the last 3 minutes has lacked a lot of quality, Mick. Very interesting that. 2 penalties now, both for holding down in the ruck. The Bulls, with a man advantage, had a set right on the York City line and failed to complete. That's unforgivable. A poor, soft error there from Sam Hallis. He had a look at the defensive line and he's coughed the ball up, which gave York City Knights the momentum. They've come down the other end and got a penalty right in front. They've got 2 points from it. But as you say also, that's a few more minutes now that Bulls won't be running it at the 12 men. Really good advantage that for York City Knights now. And he's lining up the now kick, Robinson, and he puts it over to put them 6-0 ahead.
15 minutes gone exactly on the clock here on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2. Bradford Bulls 0, the York City Knights 6. And just when you don't want any gremlins of what happened last Friday, the Bulls give away a penalty at a crucial time, and they've been cruelly punished. 6-0 here at Odsal.
The Bulls looked a little bit less sharp than they should be in attack there, and I think it's down to Sam Hallis playing at lock forward with the young hooker. It's just not quite working there. They're not as fluid as they should be, Mick, and that just led to that handling error, which has given York the advantage there. I think John Kerr might have a little look at that and might start to make a change there with Sam Hallis.
York City Knights on the restart. Up to their own 30-metre line. Once again, Ronan Dixon and Graham Horn going through a mountain of work inside the opening 20 minutes as Joe Batchelor is going to be quickly brought down, and here we go. It's bringing out a dummy half up towards the Bradford 40-metre line. Last tackle here for the York City Knights as it goes back towards Robinson. Robinson drills it towards Reece Evans. Reece Evans didn't know much about that one, so he'll get a second attempt and he'll turn the Bulls around. Scrum head and feet to the Bulls as the kick finds touch on this main stand side, 10 metres out from their own try line. Damien, let's take stock. We've had 17 minutes gone. Where's this one going?
Well, it is a tight game as we predicted, Mick, but interestingly enough, the errors have come from the Bulls. The lack of completions of sets have come from the Bulls, and they're down 6-0. York have been very, very disciplined carrying the ball forward, it must be said. They're going tight from dummy half. They're taking a few risks in moving it forward, but reality speaking, is it handling? Handling's been the difference, and that's been a 6-point game. Bulls need to sort that out and make sure they complete sets. They've only been 3 sets that have had good kicks on the end of them. When they've got to the end of the sets, the kicks have been okay. They must complete to get there, though. Now Bulls are coming out of their own 40-metre. Garside on the short side here. And there's an opportunity here now as they're going to be playing the ball in the 4th around the halfway mark to get a good kick away. They've got to get back to basics here, the Bulls, settle the game down and start to turn York City Knights around.
It'll go from Lilly to Kirk. Last tackle here for the Bulls. What can Dane Chisholm do? He once again sends it straight downtown, but the try scorer Ash Robson takes it on his own 10-metre line before he's brought down by Steve Crossley just outside his 20-metre line. So approaching 18 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. The Bulls in an almighty arm wrestle as the Bulls looking just to make that defensive line speed and the collisions. Ethan Ryan's got a bit of work to do on that right-hand edge. Jason Bass, a hat-trick last week against Barrow, will get the quick play the ball in, and here come the City Knights on the last tackle, 5 metres inside the Bradford half. Chris Bringing goes to Cockayne. Cockayne finds touch, and once again the York City Knights, the game management is there. Ben Cockayne, incidentally, playing his 350th career appearance.
Ash Robson's
weekend.
got a problem on the far wing, Mick, for York City Knights. He injured his knee just coming out of the line there, and it's not 100%. He's still being attended to there by the physio on the far side. We'll just keep an eye on that. He'll be a big loss if that maintains. He's not shaking it off. It looks to be a right knee issue there for Ash Robson.
That'll be a huge blow for James Ford and the York City Knights if Ash Robson has to leave the field.
He's definitely not 100%. And Jake Webster has pinged him out there and run straight at him on the short side. Very experienced footballer, obviously, Jake Webster. And they're going short side again to have another go at Ash Robson here.
Ethan Ryan gets to his feet. He'll play the ball. Wildy once again out of dummy half. 19 minutes gone. Bradford 0. York 6. It goes to Chisholm in centre field. A booming long pass to Lilly. Lilly to Garside. Much better there from the Bulls. Big collision as Garside's brought down by Batchelor in a two-man tackle. It'll now go from Lilly to Crossley. Bradford are up to halfway. It is the last tackle of this set of 6. Wilde to Lilly. Lilly takes aim. High hanging kick. Once again targeting Ash Robson. Robson takes it on his own 10-metre line, and Damien's astute observations. I think Ash Robson's done Damien. He didn't quite fancy taking that in and meeting that red, amber and black defensive line.
He's got a big problem there. He caught that very well considering he's injured, and he offloaded straight away. I think James Ford's going to try and see out the period of the yellow card before he makes a change there. But York are under pressure, and Bradford Bulls need to be wise here. If they're smart, Dane Chisholm needs to get on the short side of the ruck, go to Ash Robson's side and try and make him turn around, because he's definitely not 100%.
The Bulls have got the ball from a York error. It'll go from Lilly to Evans. Evans to Hitchcox. Hitchcox 10 metres out from the York line. Pass on the inside for Pickersgill. And the York City Knights defence have palmed the ball back towards their own line, and York recover the ball. So just a second error of the afternoon there from the York City Knights, and a second error from the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, disappointing from the Bulls there. They've gone to the right side, Mick, when they really didn't get their heads up and look to the left-hand side. Dane Chisholm needs to step up a little bit and get some game management here. We've seen York City Knights kicking very well, finding touch, and they're controlling the tempo of the game at the moment. Bulls are a little bit rattled by that. They're at home. They need to start taking the ascendancy here and dictating to the York City Knights. But at the moment, it's the visitors doing all the dictating and setting the standard and the tempo, and they're a man short.
Ethan Ryan, tackle number 1 from the kick there from Connor Robinson. Bradford have the ball. There's still a man short, as Damien says. 2 more minutes remaining on the sin-bin time for Judah Maziv, and you would probably argue the Bulls look the side that don't have the extra man as it goes from Evans.
So the change has been made there, Mick. Ash Robson has gone up the tunnel. That looks to be the end of the afternoon for the York City winger. And now Jake Webster goes straight to his wing. I'm just trying to see who came on there and made... Actually, the replacement is not yet on. The interchange hasn't been made, so they're actually playing now with 11 men there, York.
Ethan Ryan has ball in hand, 35 metres out from the York line, over on the far stand side. Plan Moon, Chisholm over the head of Robinson. Matty Marsh has problems at the back, but the bounce of the ball is kind. That was on tackle number 4. Jai Hitchcock shows aggression, that controlled aggression that John Keir was asking for, and this one's about to come alive here, you feel. The crowd, the war cry, come on you Bulls, reverberating around Odsal again. And Bradford now forcing and asking questions of this York City Knights offence. And good quick thinking there, Damien. Nearly resulted in a try, but Bradford on tackle number 4 as Judah Maziv comes back on the field. Have committed a penalty. Marker's not square at dummy half, and it's the second penalty that they've conceded in this first half, and that will be the catapult that'll take York inside the Bulls half with a fresh set of 6.
Very well game managed there by James Ford and his interchange men and the assistant coaching staff. They had an injury problem. They just couldn't keep Ash Robson on anymore. They knew that they had the man coming back from the sin bin very shortly. They've gotten through that unscathed. Really good game management. And here he is now on the break. Judah again.
Judah Maziv over the head of Pickersgill. Pickersgill safety first. Kicks the ball dead in goal. Bradford concede the first goal line dropout of the afternoon, but once again Cockayne to Robinson to Salter. Liam Salter sucked in Matt Garside, Ajay Hitchcocks, and that created the opening for Judah Maziv, and Maziv against Pickersgill. Maziv backed himself, put the kick in behind, but Pickersgill just quick thinking, turned around, kicked it over the dead ball line, and the Bulls are now going to defend.
What we're seeing here is York City gain a little bit more belief and a little bit more confidence with every 5-minute period, Mick. They've gotten through a period of being a man short without conceding. Excellent result there for them. Bulls are looking a little bit flat. Something needs to happen just to alter this, the tempo of the game here. We've got 16 minutes to go in the first half here. I really think Bulls need to be the next scorer. And the way to do that is they're going to have to change their attitude in defence. Looking a little bit flat and not coming off the line with much line speed at the moment. And here go York towards the right edge. Jake Webster has wrapped up the centre three-quarter there. And it's Matty Marsh into dummy half now.
The York City Knights knocking at the Bradford Bulls' door. That is the 4th tackle gone here. They're 5 metres out from the Bradford Bulls' try line as Cockayne to Robinson along the line. Rhys Evans and Jordan Lilly, a crucial tackle there. This will be the last tackle. Matty Marsh out of dummy half to Batchelor. Batchelor kicks ahead, but Jordan Lilly puts his body on the line, and once again the Bradford Bulls' resilience in defence keeps the scoreboard at Bradford 0, York 6.
Huge play that from Jordan Lilly. That's released a lot of pressure off the Bradford Bulls here. They're now pleading for a holding down in the penalty ruck. They just need a pressure release here, the Bulls. They're under the pump. They haven't done the best job they could have when they had the man advantage. And they're just gathering a little bit behind the ruck here now. Jake Webster and Dane Chisholm trying to forge something down the left flank coming out of the own 30-metre line.
Let us know using the Bulls Live hashtag where you are listening to the coverage this afternoon. Bradford awarded their second penalty of the afternoon. York guilty of laying on in the tackle, not clearing the ruck, and that was Dane Chisholm who won that penalty. And we've just seen George Flanagan come on the field a little bit more earlier than usual. What can George Flanagan do to the Bradford Bulls? Certainly a lot of rivalry between these two after what happened last season, and this one perhaps not the high-scoring games at Bootham Crescent and at Odsall, but certainly just as tight and tense. 6-0 York lead, but the Bulls are going to have a full set of 6:30 out from the York line, and it's going to be Flanagan to Lilly on this right-hand edge towards Chisholm. Chisholm caught in a tailspin, brought down by Matty Marsh and Brad Hayne, a 2-man tackle. Flanagan once again out of dummy half. Lateral ball across the face of the post. Lilly will front up and he'll go on that right-hand angle, and Lilly's brought down 5 metres out from that York City Knights try line, and there's an error at dummy half there. George Flanagan appealing for a penalty. He wants to be careful not to say anything out of turn. And Bradford, Damien, it's another error. 10 metres out from the York line, and when they're in good field position.
We knew this game was going to be tight, and we said the key indicators and what was going to make the difference. Errors. Errors are coming on the back end of sets. They're getting some good field position, the Bulls, but at every opportunity they've gotten down there, they're failing to complete sets. I think I can count one kick, and that was in the first 3 minutes. They've actually got an attacking kick away from their own 30-metre line. If you don't get to the end of the sets, you can't win a game of rugby league. The Bulls are shooting themselves in the foot here. They need to really regroup. They need to get some very good go forward out of dummy half, settle it down, copy your opponents. York City Knights have been very basic, very simple, and they've been very good at it.
York City Knights allowed to offload the ball, but referee Greg Dolan will say that has to go back, and Marcus Stock will have to play the ball outside his own 20-metre line.
Connor Farrell is on the pitch now. He made an interchange there. I didn't see who came on for him though, Mick. We'll work that out for you.
Connor Farrell, the second Bradford interchange of the afternoon as York City Knights try to go down this middle channel. Flanagan in defence manages to get hold of his man, but the pass has been allowed to be taken in there, and Batchelor's calling for the ball on this left-hand edge. York 20 metres out from the line. Batchelor has it. Batchelor sucks in the Bulls' defence, offloads it in front of the post, and Bradford's defence has given away another penalty for a high tackle on Joe Batchelor, and this one's awarded 10 metres out. We look towards James Ford. James Ford has 2 fingers in the air, and James Ford says take the 2 points on offer. Steve Crossley having a word with referee Greg Dolan. I didn't see much wrong with that, Damien, but it is another penalty conceded by the Bulls, and James Ford will say we'll have another 2 points, please.
He'll take the 2 points here, but that's the least of their worries. We lost a winger for York City Knights on the far side. Jai Hitchcox has got a big problem with his right shoulder down here on our near side. It looks like it might have dislocated and gone back in. The shoulder is gone. Sometimes it's a stinger. Sometimes they go in and out very quickly. But it's his left shoulder, I'm sorry. He's clutching at it now. He's got a little bit of time to catch a breather here, but the sign from the physio wasn't good. I think he might have dislocated that and it's gone back in. It's very, very ginger at the moment, and we'll see in the next few minutes just how well Jai Hitchcox is. That would be a massive loss if John Keir had to make a change out on this right edge.
Connor Robinson, the Pulse 2 kick predictor, says 68%, and he's put it wide. So, cheers from the Bulls faithful.
He's going to go off, Jai Hitchcox.
Yeah, Jai gets the nod from Matt Duke. He'll have to leave the field of play, and on will come Matty Staunton. Or is it Krasnicki?
It's Krasnicki, I think you'll find. Big issue there when you have to use up interchanges on your outside backs, Mick. Towards the end of this game, it's a battle of attrition. The forwards are working very hard. It's a warm day. It'll be very telling the last 15 minutes for both sides, but essentially losing an interchange for their prop forwards.
So that penalty goal has missed. It's gone wide. It's a dropout from the Bradford 20-metre line. We've had 30 minutes gone on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2, and the York City Knights have come up with an error, and look what that means to Sam Hallerstone and Lilly. They're all patting each other on the back. Is that a little bit of luck that's going to swing the Bulls' way? Scrum, head and feed to John Keir's side, 5 metres inside the York half.
First little bit of ill discipline and poor handling there from the Knights right on halfway. Really good opportunity for the Bulls here. What they haven't done at this stage in the game is capitalise when they've been given good field position and errors. Let's see what Bradford Bulls can do here. Jordan Lilly set at halfback now.
Lilly, Farrell, close season signing from Featherstone, brought down on the York 40-metre line. 10 minutes remain in this first half here at Odsal. George Flanagan out of dummy half, doing what George Flanagan does. And the York City Knights have now conceded their 5th penalty of the afternoon. Marker's not square. It's in front of the post. John Keir says we will keep the roll on. We will not take the 2 points, although it's a very kickable position for Jordan Lilly and Dane Chisholm. Here goes Krasnicki, tackle number 1. Made his debut last Friday. Gets to his feet. Quick play of the ball. Chisholm on that left edge. Looking for Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan's probing. 10 metres out. Make that 4 metres out. Rolled over in the tackle. Away from that York City Knights try line. Back. It's going to go to Chisholm. Chisholm to Lilly. To Crossley. They've lost a little bit of ground here, the Bulls. Chisholm's pass, it was just flicked on, rolled on the floor. The Bulls have lost a little bit of momentum. It's going to go to Flanagan, to Lilly, to Pickersgill. Huge collision there. Pickersgill's brought down. 2 tackles remaining here for the Bulls. Crucial period in this first half. 1 fields potentially the game. Chisholm for Ryan. Ryan juggles with the ball. It's gone into touch. That should be scrum, head and feet to the Bulls. The pressure will continue, will it? The referee says no. He'll say Ethan Ryan, fingertips. Chance gone begging for the Bulls. Damien was a little bit animated and excited. Everyone held their breath. The thought, can Ryan latch onto the ball and touch down in at the corner? In the end, it touched. He's brushed his fingertips. It's gone into touch. Scrum to York, 10 metres out. 8 minutes away from half-time. And it's still Bradford 0, York 6.
That was my opportunity for the Chisholm kick to the corner for Ethan Ryan. as you said, they've been frustrated in attack here, the Bulls, and they've reverted to that default play, which nearly came off. It must be said, though, one of the best goal line tackles you'll ever see from York City. I think it was Peterson that made the tackle, or it was Peterson, and he's bent Brendan Pickersgill back, who was halfway through a gap and should have scored. It was a fantastic goal line tackle, which saved York City Knights. A guaranteed try there from Pickersgill. Very, very good online defence.
Jenny Parkin says, listening in Spain, come on you Bulls, stop these stupid mistakes.
I think that she's just given us John Keir's halftime talk there, because that's essentially what the key is. Stop the errors. Stop the errors. You're giving yourself no chance in a game if you don't complete. And York, again, have got a good kick away completed. That was Robinson kicked away. And Pickersgill now bringing it off his own 20-metre line. But a good straight line of defence and kick chase from York City Knights.
So Bradford, 7 minutes to go to half-time. It's been a long, long time since they've been nilled in a first half here at Odsal Stadium. It's going to go Flanagan to Lilly, to Chisholm on that left-hand edge. Keeping the ball moving over towards the far stand side. And once again, Ethan Ryan goes in at dummy half. It'll go towards Minchella. Minchella sucks in that defence. Here could something happen, but the ball has gone behind Farrell and Webster. It's been picked up on this main stand side. If that connects, the Bulls potentially are causing York a lot of problems on this main stand side.
Very disjointed in attack there, Mick. The Bulls went very lateral through Minchella and Chisholm. They're not getting direct runners. They're not creating angles here. It's very disappointing. Lily's got the kick away from the 40-metre line. He's grubbered that in goal, dead in goal. It'll be a tap restart for York City Knights. Not the best attacking set, really. There's a lack of direction and leadership out there. I don't know whether it's because we've got 3 dummy halves effectively out there in their natural positions, but it's just not clicking at the moment, Mick, for Bradford Bulls. And John Keir will need to have a close look at half-time to see whether he gives Dane or Jordan a little bit more leeway to control things, because between the two of them at the moment, they're just not creating enough in attack and enough direction.
Matt Staunton is out there on the field, the 4th interchange of this first half for John Keir. George Flanagan throwing himself around in that defensive line. York City Knights awarded another penalty. So we waited 13 minutes for the first penalty. We've now had 9, and this is for a bit of petulance at the play of the ball, and James Ford says we're going to put the pressure on, we're going to decline the 2 points on offer. It was very kickable for Connor Robinson. It was 35 metres out, just to the left-hand side of the post, but instead he's found touch 10 metres out, and here we go. It's Liam Salter who will tap the ball. They're going to go down this middle channel with, once again, Batchelor and Peterson over on the right edge. What they're going to do with the ball.
It's an obstruction there.
Damien's calling obstruction. The referee happy that it didn't connect. Chris bringing out a dummy half. Ball's gone behind. Picked up by Batchelor. Batchelor's brought down there by Farrell and Staunton. And the York City Knights, at the end of this first half, leading by 6 points to 0. Looking for more points here. Pickersgill has grounded that first for mine. Pickersgill says he's grounded it, but the referee is going to say try to Judah Maziv. Huge controversial moment here at Odsal. The Bulls and Jake Webster. Pickersgill grounded that one for mine. The referee has come up with a howler, and York have been awarded a phantom try. I've seen it all now, Damien. Pickersgill clearly grounded the ball. Unbelievable stuff here at Odsal.
Jake Webster is adamant that the ball was grounded. It did seem to bobble. Whether or not from our position here he was grounded, I don't know. But look, the bottom line is this, Mick. The Bulls complained and argued there with the referee for the last 2 sets from that holding down penalty. York City Knights have completed all but one of their sets. They're going hard at the Bulls through the ruck. They're winning the ruck. You're going to be penalised from trying to slow down that ruck. The Bulls are a little bit flat here. That's really going to hurt that try to give a 10-0 lead with a kick to come to York. Disappointing that. I thought the touch judge had a very good view of it. I didn't have the best view of it, but Jake Webster seemed adamant that the ball had been grounded there.
Connor Robinson from the main stand touchline. takes the York City Knights out to a 12-0 lead on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2. 2 from 4 attempts. The boos and jeers continue here. I've got to be brutally honest, this is not me creating controversy for controversy's sake. The kick come behind, and Brandon Pickersgill clearly grounded that ball in goal. The officials have come up with a howler, but it's how the Bulls now react to that decision from the officials. And Bradford once again, Damien. York have switched off. They've got the ball back from the restart, and here we go. There's a bit of pushing and shoving, and it's a 6th penalty here to the Bradford Bulls. We've got 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Can the Bulls get some points?
Well, they must, Mick. I mean, you can't keep giving yourself position, having penalties given to you when you're in the attacking half and failing to complete sets and getting a result. You must get a repeat set here or points. That's what Bradford Bull needs.
Flanagan, Hallis to Lilly, Lilly to Farrell. Farrell's brought down 10 metres out from the York line. 10 metres out, 10 in from this main stand side. Back they're going to go in centre field. Lilly with a drop of the shoulder. Out to Chisholm. Chisholm to Ryan. Ethan Ryan's in at the corner. That's acrobatic swan dive. He's done it again. Ethan Ryan. What a sensational try here for the Bradford Bulls. Onto the ropes. Justice for the red, amber and black. It's 4 points to 12.
The best finisher in the competition. He left the ground 2 metres before the try line there, got himself around and outside, and he managed to get the ball down. The Bulls worked the numbers very well to the left side there. They had plenty of room to work with. Crisp passing, well executed. Some of the failings of this half have come from poor passing and poor basics. The passes, when they've stuck, have been very good and they've gotten points. There's a big lesson in this for the Bradford Bulls. If you complete your sets, if you get a penalty and piggyback and you complete your set and put yourself in a good position, the Bulls are classy enough to put points on and to win the game. That's a great lesson, and that's what we need more of in the second half. John Keir would be very well happy with that, to be going in at only 4 or 10 or 6 points down if they can convert this kick.
Great response to what the players certainly have perceived as an injustice, but as Damien says, another prolific, clinical finish from Ethan Ryan. His 2nd try of the season.
He's been given 2 or 3 opportunities now, one from a kick, one other pass that was a cut-out pass out to him. If you give Ethan Ryan 5 opportunities, he's going to convert 1 or 2 of them every game. The Bulls need to go back to that simple method. As I said, you can't defend against an acrobatic finish like that. He's going to get around you. Great play from Bradford Bulls, and certainly sorely needed after a pretty lackadaisical first half, it must be said, from them, Mick.
Chisholm's conversion attempt from the far touchline has gone wide. Bradford Bulls 4, York City Knights 12 on Bradford Bulls Live. On Pulse 2 this afternoon, Mick Little and Damien Irving. Your call team, let us know using the Bulls Live hashtag in the comments on any social media platform where you're listening to the coverage this afternoon. But what a great response there from the Bradford Bulls after that perceived injustice. With 4 seconds remaining, so the restart from Connor Robinson will be taken there by Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan to Steve Crossley, and Steve Crossley with a loud shrill blast of the hooter in the background is brought down 15 out from his own try line, and that, Damien, has perhaps given the boost they need that they can carry into the second half. 12-4 looks slightly a little bit more positive than 12-0.
Bradford Bulls simply had to get points that final set of the half. They've had their opportunities. There is no doubt about that, Mick. They've had ample possession and opportunities to close out and put points on. That final product has been lacking in quality. Their handling has been lacking. To get those...
Well, here at Odsal Stadium, Bradford Bulls will have first use of the ball in this second half. And it will be Connor Robinson to get proceedings underway, and it will be taken by Ethan Ryan on his own try line, given on the inside to Steve Crossley. Steve Crossley's brought down 15 metres out, and that is tackle number 1 of the second half. And we're going to see what the Bulls are made of. As we said, there was those 2 Rugby League classics at Bootham Crescent and Odsal last season, both games being settled with the last kick of the game, and just 2 points between them. at Bootham Crescent. It was York 20, Bradford 22 here at Odsal. It was Bradford 28, York 30. Is this one going to go right down to the wire? We will see. Flanagan out of dummy half on his own 40-metre line. It'll go to Webster on the right-hand edge. Webster's brought down just shy of halfway. It's going to go back to Lilly, to Hallis. Hallis makes 10 metres forward, and that will be the last tackle for the Bradford Bulls. We've had exactly 54 seconds gone in this second half. It'll go from Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm, a high hanging kick. Going to ask questions of the York defence. They've come up with the error of the York City Knights. Chisholm has it. It's the zero tackle. There's no longer any free plays, so Chisholm will apply the brakes and he'll take the tackle 10 metres out from the Bradford half. The ball ricochets off Krasnicki's right shoulder, goes back behind, and here come the Bulls. That one has gone behind, says the referee, and Hallis will play it on tackle number one. It goes out towards Lilly on that right-hand edge, towards Webster. Webster's brought down, is still going forward, Webster. Webster's going to be forced into touch, but the referee says held. Evans out of dummy half, back to Lilly, to Crossley. Crossley sucks in the defence, offloads the ball back to Lilly, to Chisholm, to Minchella. The Bulls are stacked, the Bulls have numbers, but Minchella's just brought down 5 out. Here goes Flanagan. Flanagan towards the line, he's got into touch. Wrong option there from George Flanagan, one feels, but the Bulls had the momentum. He picked the ball up out of dummy half and he's gone 5 metres towards the corner, and that left edge York defence has pushed George into touch. Chad's gone begging. Bradford 4, York 12.
Excellent defence there by York. They were under the pump there straight from the kick-off. A very good first set, showed some new intent from the Bulls. Obviously John Keir's been in their ear at half-time, and as we talked about in the first half, what wasn't there in the first half was there this time in the first set of the second half, which was a very, very good kick on the end of it from Dane Chisholm, a very high spiralling kick which drew the error from the York fullback. So, a good change there, new intent. Poor decision at the end of that from George Flanagan to be put into touch, but no, a lot better from the Bulls in that first set. As York bring it off their 20 metres line now, and they're hitting that up. A good settling set this from York. Let's just see how they end this with their kick.
The York City Knights on their own 30 metre line. Back it will go down the right hand edge. 7 metres shy of halfway. The York City Knights just going to move in out of Chris Bringing. Back it's going to go with Porter. He's going to call for it on that left edge. The kick's going to go up down towards Pickersgill. Pickersgill takes it 10 metres out from his own try line, and he'll appeal for a penalty. Wriggling on the floor there. Referee says play on. And here goes Rhys Evans now, getting that pick-me-up, that momentum, that ascendancy. Bradford up to their own 40 metre line. And here goes Ethan Ryan up to halfway. Let me tell you, listeners, ladies and gents, boys and girls, the Bulls have probably had the mother of all half-time bashes from John Keir, the way they've come out of the blocks, and now they're going to win their 7th penalty of the afternoon. For once again, York not clearing the ruck, Damien. What do you reckon John Keir said at half-time?
Well, everything that was missing in the first half has been evident in the first 2 sets there. We saw Evans and then Ryan come out of their own end as a back 3 early in the tackle count and made great yards up to the halfway on tackle 2. Really got a roll on and forced the penalty out of York City Knights. Very, very positive there from the back 3, helping out their front row, and that was lacking in the first half.
Christine Waterworth says, listening to Pulse 2, the commentary is so energetic and passionate. Fantastic Sunday afternoon listening. The Bulls via Minchella to Chisholm. Chisholm, loop pass towards Ethan Ryan on this left-hand edge. And once again, a bit of miscommunication in the halves there from the Bulls. 5 minutes gone in the second half. The Bulls are chasing the game. They trail by 8 points at 12 points to 4, and they're in front of the post. And this is tackle number 4. 1 remaining here. Flanagan. It's going to go to Chisholm on this left-hand edge towards Lilly, and Ethan Ryan's in at the corner. It's another try from Ethan Ryan, and the gap has gone from 12 to 8. It's now only 4. It's 8 points to 12. What a flick-on pass that was from the Bradford Bulls. Jordan Lilly out there in the middle, and it's Ethan Ryan in at the corner. Try number 4 of the season.
I think that was Brandon Pickersgill, was it, that got the flick pass out, and it was absolutely top draw, Mick. They were well numbered up, York City Knights. They had the numbers on the Bulls. Pickersgill drew the defence, made them make the tackle, and somehow got his left arm away to put Ethan Ryan away in the corner to score a double. Very, very different looking Bradford Bulls outfit and attack here. There's a lot more direction and intent. I think John Keir has sat them down and said, what have we done all week in training, guys? Can we remember that in the second half, please? Because you forgot it all in the first half. And it certainly had a great result. Dane Chisholm now right on the touchline here in front of the main stand, lining up. What does the predictor say about this one, Mick?
Pulse 2 kick predictor says Dane Chisholm 32%. And the Pulse 2 kick predictor says yes. It's gone across the face of the post. But Dane Chisholm, it was his kick that caused pandemonium at the back. That gave the Bulls the repeat set. And I do apologise to Brandon Pickersgill. I only saw a flash of the one. Lillywary 14, Pickersgill in 1. It was Brandon Pickersgill's flick on pass. But here we are, Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2. Strap yourselves in. Bradford 8, York 12.
A lot of fans that watch the game will wonder what the training staff do when they come on and what they're saying in there. I've just had a close look at Matt Dunning and Gareth Carvell, the support team for Bradford Bulls, and they are making a very concerted effort to talk and look about body language and enthusiasm, and they're clapping every movement here. They're really revving up the guys. I think they felt that the team were a little bit flat in the first half, and you can't legislate for that. Sometimes you come out of that tunnel and the team is just flat. They're really making an effort here to get the body language very positive and the upbeat tempo from the Bradford Bulls, and it's certainly telling. Jake Webster coming out of the 40 has just drawn a penalty there. He's had a leg pull from York City Knights, and the reason that happened was because they were coming off their line very, very much with intent, the Bradford Bulls there. They're scooting out of dummy half, getting York City back on the roll again and winning the ruck. Something that York City Knight did all first half. They controlled the ruck. Bradford Bulls, first 3 sets have completed. York City Knights have barely had a set, and the Bradford Bulls have put points on. Excellent start to the half. York City Knights are going to have to try to do something here to quell this momentum, or we might see the Bulls in again shortly.
8 minutes gone of this second half. 32 minutes remain. Bradford trail by 4 points. As here goes Hallis on the second tackle.
Big contact.
Good defence there from York. 30 metres out. Back they're going to come. Down this right-hand edge. Tackle number 3 gone. Just outside the York 20-metre line in front of the South Bank stand. It goes towards Hallis to Chisholm.
Oh.
Chisholm's brought down in a 3-man tackle by the York City Knights. Flanagan looks for options. Finds Hallis. Has Staunton on his right edge, keeps on to the ball. And Bradford, 10 metres out. Kick through from Flanagan, looking towards Steve Crossley, and Steve Crossley absolutely disgusted with George Flanagan there. Crossley wanted that one along the floor, not in the air, and another chance has gone begging there from the Bradford Bulls as the York City Knights are going to move it over on this right and edge.
Just looking at John Keir there talking to his assistant Lee Beattie, absolutely furious with that option there from George Flanagan. Bulls have done so well to get to play the ball in very good position right under the sticks. They had 2 very good halfbacks, Jordan Lilly and Dane Chisholm, either side of the ruck. George has taken it upon himself. That's not the system, that's not the playbook, and it was a poor kick on the end. So a let off there from York City Knights.
Bradford Bulls live on Pulse 2. Bradford Bulls 8. York City Knights 12. Connor Robinson on the last tackle for the City Knights. Sends it towards Pickersgill. Over on the far stand side, it's a good confident take there from Brandon Pickersgill. There's some great experience in both packs out there on the field, and it's starting to get a little bit interesting as the fitness levels and fatigue start to play a factor. Ethan Ryan's brought down on his own 20-metre line. Flanagan straight out of dummy half, a little bit one-dimensional from the Bradford Bulls, but he's made 10 metres and he's up to his own 30-metre line. It's going to be Connor Farrell out of dummy half, along the line for the Lilly. Lilly to Crossley. Crossley leading by a captain's example is brought down on the halfway line. This will be the last tackle for the Bulls. Chisholm chases the kick chase. Matty Marsh leaves it for Judda Maziv, and Maziv will hair away, and he'll be brought down there by the Bradford kick chase defence. And it's Matty Staunton and Jordan Lilly in there in that two-man tackle. We're in the 51st minute at Odsall. 8-12, the Bulls trail.
York looking a little bit condensed here in behind the ruck now as they're in possession, Mick. They might just be starting to tire a little bit, remembering that both sides are a man short on the interchange. They've got a piggyback there as a holding down penalty in the ruck, and that'll help them no end. It's in kicking range, Mick. What do you think?
James Ford says keep the pressure on. They're not going to go for two, Damien. They're going to find touch on this main stand side. It's another kickable attempt. They're having a bit of indecision, but they're going to tap it.
He's making the roll sign there, James Ford. He wants to get a roll on here. He wants to keep coming at the Bulls tight in the ruck and seeing if he can't find some way through the direct passage. And I think it's really a smart decision there this early in the second half.
Harry Carter out of dummy half via Cockayne and Robinson, ends up with Marsh. Marsh is brought down.
Very good run that from Matty Marsh. He's causing some problems on the left edge when he injects himself into the line in the attack there, mate. Very much.
2 metres out now from the Bradford line. York hunting for the third try of the afternoon. We've already seen tries from Ash Robson and Judda Maziv. 2 tries apiece here as they go back down the middle channel, but that's good, solid Bradford Bulls defence. Tackle number 4 coming up here for the City Knights. Harry Carter's lost his footing.
Bulls are susceptible here if they kick to the left, remembering it's the side Jai Hitchcock normally defends on. They've come up with an error.
Oh, Steve Crossley, look at Jordan Lilly's body language and reaction. It's again pumped up, high fives, a lot of passion out there as Harry Carter goes without the ball on the last tackle. And that now will give the Bulls a play the ball on their own 10 metre line. So let's just take stock. It's still York 12, Bradford 8 as Steve Crossley leaves the field, Damien.
Just when we'd written him off, Steve Crossley has gone off the pitch and Jai Hitchcock has come back from the dead and he's back on now in the wing, which is going to be crucial there for the Bradford Bulls. Obviously, they've done some work on him there, checked out that shoulder, realised that it wasn't any damage in there. It was just the burner. It's gone in and out.
Still calling it a dislocated shoulder, Damien?
Well, they go out and come back in pretty quickly, mate. They do. As you said, it's very difficult to know what damage is in there. But having had one a few times myself, it's very painful. And you do lose a lot of the power in the arm. But obviously they've had a good look at him. It's been a good half an hour they've been working on him in there. And it's good to see Hitchcock's back. That'll really help at the back end of this game. Just a break in play now as Jake Webster is having the head injury redone and a change of shirt there from the blood rule. So there's just a little break in play there, which will play into York City Knights' favour, to be fair, as the Bulls are in possession on their 10 metre line, looking to come out off their own end. Very big set in defence this for York City Knights. Let's see, they'll be trying to push the Bulls backwards here.
Latest scores from the Betfred Championship: Barrow 14, Dewsbury 8. It's Batley 12, Rochdale 6. Featherstone 18, Halifax 4, Leigh 2, Toronto 10, and it is Swinton 12, Toulouse 18. So Toulouse, after getting their first win of the season against Rochdale last week, having it tough after leading 14-0 against the Swinton Lions. Bradford here at Odsall, moving the ball with Farrell over on the right-hand edge, just shy of halfway, 5 in from that far stand side. 53 minutes gone on the clock here at Odsall. The trail by 4 points in another tight contest as Bradford suck that defence in. Webster's away. Here goes Ethan Ryan. Pass on the inside. He returns the favour. And Brandon Pickersgill has the try that will lock the scores up. It's 12 points apiece. That was pure theatre from the Bradford Bulls.
Fantastic work, absolutely fantastic work. Moved it very quickly on the halfway line down the left edge, where the Bulls have fancied themselves all afternoon and focused a lot of the attack. Pickersgill got on the outside of his man and found Jake Webster and put him away beautifully. A very charging run from Webster straight at the fullback for York City Knights, Matty Marsh. Offloaded wonderfully to Ethan Ryan outside as he approached the 20 metre line, headed towards the corner. Ryan stepped back inside and found the support play for a wonderful try. Really well worked that, and as I said, excellent work. Interestingly, the set started with Jai Hitchcocks and Evans coming out of the own line and helping the forwards out again. Very, very positive response there from the Bulls to a flat set previously. That'll hurt York City Knights. That really will. Chisholm lining up the kick now from the 20-metre line, just to the left of the post. What's the predictor saying for us, Mick?
The Pulse 2 kick predictor is saying 62%. So, Chisholm, this potentially to give Bradford the lead for the first time. I'm not sure what the music was about. He hasn't taken it yet. Has that put Chisholm off? It could come down to a last grasp kick again. 2 points, absolutely crucial between these two sides when it's concerned. Chisholm draws the imaginary line between the posts. That will go, and the Bulls, they're back from the dead, they're back from the brink, they're back from a 12-0 deficit, and unbelievable if you take into account Ethan Ryan's try a minute before half-time. In 16 minutes, Damien, the Bulls are nearly going at a point a minute.
All the things that we said let the Bulls down and was leading to the deficit at half-time have been rectified by John Keir. Number one is the handling. The handling has been exceptional and they're completing their sets. I don't mean to oversimplify it, but it really is that simple as a game of rugby league. The forwards have been doing their job getting the possession. They've had their fair share of the penalties here, the Bulls, and now they're starting to convert that into completing sets, good handling, and the points are coming. It'll be interesting to see what James Ford does here to try and counter this new enthusiasm and the new memento. The rhythm is all with Bradford Bulls at the moment. Ford's looking a little bit lost over there, so let's just see what he can do in terms of his interchange bench, who he might look to try and turn the tide backwards to York City Knights' favour here.
Bradford on the restart on their own 40-metre line. Dave Chisholm dusts himself down. Back it goes down the middle with Krasnicki. Krasnicki brought down on tackle number 4, just shy of the halfway line. Flanagan, the Bulls certainly have a roll on. Unstoppable momentum, some might say, as it goes from Flanagan to Lilly, Lilly to Farrell. That's the last tackle. The 10 metres inside that York half. Back to Lilly. Crossfield kick. Here goes Ethan Ryan again. Ethan Ryan decides to let the York centre take it, but he's immediately smothered there by Ryan, and Webster and Connor Robinson has to go in at dummy half with Ben Cockayne, because that's going to disrupt their half-back flow. But because York have been under so much pressure, Damien, that it's going to have a set of 6 where they have to run it through the forwards.
They've been starved of possession this half, Mick. It's that simple. I mean, how long have we gone in? 17 minutes into the half, and very few sets for the York City Knights. They're doing well here, though, coming out of their own end, taking it from dummy half, which is what put them in the good position in the first half in the first place. So let's just see if they can't keep that up. As a midfield bomb goes up, not a good enough set, that completion of the set. And Pickersgill will collect. Has he?
Pickersgill's come up with an error.
He's come up with an error there. A little bit messy.
York have forced the Bulls into an error 20 metres out from the road try line. John Keir shakes his head on the balcony to our left. And on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2 this afternoon, Bradford have scored 14 unanswered points. 2 tries from Ethan Ryan, 1 from Brandon Pickersgill, his first try of the new season, and it's 14 points to 12 in this 6th against 3rd Battle Royal here. North Yorkshire meets West Yorkshire. Rivalry reignited on Pulse 2 this afternoon, and we're approaching the hour mark. Strap yourselves in, this one's going the distance, guys and girls, as York, a full set of 6 now from that Bradford line, and they're going to move it down the middle with Joe Porter. Porter's huge frame sucks 3 Bulls defenders out of that defensive line. Here come York, pass has gone into touch. Ironic cheers from the Odsal faithful. Miscommunication there between Manny Marsh and Ben Cockayne, and the veteran half Ben Cockayne, as we said last weekend in that 56-0 win over Barrow. He made his 350th career appearance. There was miscommunication, it was mistimed, it's gone into touch, and it'll be scrum, head and feed to the Bradford Bulls. 21 minutes remaining here at Odsal Stadium. Flanagan in, Webster out, tackle number 1, 15 out from the Bradford line, centre field. Flanagan to Lilly. Lilly to Hitchcock's on that right edge. Sucks the defence in, offloads the ball. Back to Flanagan. Flanagan's away. Flanagan's up to the Bradford 40-metre line. and Flanagan's lost the ball. Will the referee say it was stolen and promoted forward by the York man? The referee will say head and feet to York. Boos and jeers. Bradford's 6th error in open play there. And once again, York have the ball.
Flanagan still remonstrating with the referee here. He's not going to have the decision changed. And given what happened last week, Mick, I think it's a time for cool heads in there. We need to settle down here as a Bulls team and just stop getting into that ill discipline. Things are going quite well this second half. There's no need to be remonstrating the referee and potentially looking for penalties there or even a yellow card as what happened last week. York City Knights now approaching the 20-metre line on the attack at the Bulls' end.
York driving down the middle. Joe Porter looking for support. Graham Horn, he's saying suck the ball in this way, and Graham Horn takes a short pass, and Horn goes 2 metres from the Bradford line. The danger's not over yet. The York City Knights are over to the left hand side of the post. Joe Porter crashes on a short ball from Manny Marsh, and the York City Knights are back in front in this one. It is 16 points to 14. We've just hit the hour mark at Odsal Stadium. 60 minutes gone on the clock, and this one is enthralling.
Yeah, interestingly enough, their big crash over tackle, which is always disappointing to concede. But York City Knights pinpointed 2 players there. Brandon Pickersbill and George Flanagan were just on the right edge of the goalpost there. They've been targeted and steamrolled there in a great pushover try. Very direct from York City Knights, and a great response, it must be said, to a rather dominant first period in this second half where the Bulls have dominated. So a wonderful response there from York City Knights.
Pulse 2 kick predictor says 100% in front of the post. Connor Robinson, 3 successful conversion attempts from 5. And on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2 this afternoon, it's 3 tries apiece. Kicking the difference. 20 minutes remain at Odsal. The gap back down to 4. And it's York who lead. 18 points to 14. York just going straight down the middle there. They were applying the pressure, and perhaps that could be a crucial sucker punch. Although the York City Knights, that is the 3rd error from the restart. There's a huge mix-up between Brad Hay and Liam Salter on this main stand side, and the former Hulkington Rovers man has let the ball go into touch, and it's a scrum head and feed to the Bradford Bulls 10 metres out.
Yeah, look, interesting enough, from kickoffs, Bulls have been very lucky today, or well worked. I mean, they've retained possession 3 times now from kickoffs. Jordan Lilly moving it to the right-hand side now. Massive chance here for Bradford Bulls to complete this set, either get points or a repeat set.
Bradford. Krasnicki towards the York line. He's over the York line. He's going to be dragged dead in goal. Krasnicki needed to apply the brakes. He couldn't. And he's gone dead in goal over the York line. Credit to the entire York side there. There were 7 York defenders dragging Krasnicki dead in goal, and the Bulls commit the error there on tackle number 2.
Very frustrating for Jock Gear here. A repeat set right in front of the sticks, and on such an early tackle in the count to go dead in goal when he didn't need to do that. He was never going to get the ball down. He needed to put the brakes on, as you say, and get held up in goal. York now on the 43-metre mark, coming out off their own end, have an opportunity to again release the pressure.
York on their own 40-metre line. Flanagan in defence, called offside by the referee. He'll just leisurely retreat the 10. York on the halfway line now. 63 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. Another try here from York. Certainly might ask harsh questions of the Bulls. They fancy the chances on this right-hand edge. Ben Cockayne appealing for a penalty, not forthcoming. Last tackle, York are 20 metres out. In at dummy half goes Salter. It goes back to Cockayne. Cockayne kicks behind, looking for Pickersgill or Hitchcox. Hitchcox, under pressure, returns the ball out from his own line towards the Bradford Bulls 10-metre line, and Bradford now have a lot of work to do. Fearless running there on the second carry from Ethan Ryan. He's just met that yellow and black shirted York defensive wall. Crowd starting to beseech the referee, trying to get a penalty, a piggyback. Referee Greg Dolan unmoved, and the sun just starting to set in the far corner here. Temperature just dropping slightly, but it's warming up out there on the field. 18 points to 14, the Bulls trail. Chisholm's pass to Webster. Webster's rolled over in a two-man tackle. Last tackle for the Bulls. They're on their own 40-metre line. And Bradford will win the penalty on the last tackle. Matty Marsh laying in there.
A last tackle penalty for lying down in the ruck. Really a massive bonus that for the Bulls. Very disappointing for James Ford and York City Knights. He'll be disappointed in that. That's given a whole new complete set for the Bradford Bulls. They find touch and they'll take the tap about, 30 metres out. Massive opportunity here for the Bulls to respond immediately.
65 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium. Matt Garside will play the ball on tackle number 1, and it's back-to-back penalties. Bradford now lead the penalty count 10-5. The penalties coming back to haunt the York City Knights.
No excuses here for the Bulls. They've been gifted another set right on the line. Last time they're in exactly the same position. They failed to capitalise, making that error by going dead in goal on the second tackle. They move it to the right now. Chisholm.
Krasnicki over the York line. Still going forward, Krasnicki. He'll play the ball a metre short. Flanagan, will he show and go? He'll find Lilly. Lilly towards the line, inches shy. He dropped the shoulder. Flanagan over from dummy half. Flanagan's got the ball down, but the referee will say he's held up. Flanagan has to go back to the 10-metre line. The crowd on the feet. Greg Dolan right there on top said no try. Chisholm to Webster. Webster back to Chisholm. In front of the post. Back to Minchella. And Minchella's brought down on the last tackle. I can't sit down any longer. I've got to stand. It goes back to Flanagan. Chisholm crossfield kick. Looking for Hitchcock. Judah Maziv though has touched it secondary after Jai Hitchcock's touched it first. Jai Hitchcock's appealing that it come off the York man, but I think the referee's interpretation, Damien, is that the first error come forward off Jai Hitchcock's, and another chance has gone begging there for the Bulls.
A disappointing set actually in attack there, Mick, from Bradford Bulls. A little bit too lateral. I think Dane Chisholm needs to go direct here. There's a little bit of room around the middle of the ruck and in and under the post. If he can just straighten the attack a little bit with some help from Flanagan and Lilly and try and go a little bit more direct, I think they can open up York City Knights closer into the ruck instead of trying to go too lateral too early out to the edges. It's a 50-50 call there in getting that kick out there, and we weren't able to capitalise as the Bulls there. York City Knights now bringing it back towards the halfway line, coming off their own end.
Also Krasnicki on Jason Bass there. Bass dumped on his backside, 5 shy of the halfway line. It is the last tackle for the York City Knights. It's going to go back down towards Marsh. He goes long and high. Taken there by Pickersgill. Pickersgill on his own 10-metre line. And Pickersgill's brought down 15 metres out from his own try line. And he looks to get the quick play of the ball in. Here goes Ethan Ryan. We've got 12 minutes remaining. Bradford trail by 18 points to 14. York's tries this afternoon from Ash Robson. Judah Maziv. Huge controversy over that one. And of course, Joe Porter. So, what is going to happen in this final 12 and a half minutes on Pulse
40-20 effort.
Jordan Lilly looks for the 40-20. Will it go into touch? It'll just hold up on the far stand side.
What a kick chase though from Bradford Bulls.
And the Bulls are going to force a goal line drop out. Unbelievable stuff here at Odsal Stadium. Serve that one up on the highlights reel. Jordan Lilly, the architect. Matty Wildy, Connor Farrell all chasing back.
That's absolutely top draw, that, Mick. A wonderful kick from Jordan Lilly. A little bit unlucky not to find touch there to make it a 40-20. But the quality of chase from his outside man, absolutely top draw. Drop out now from under the sticks from York City Knights. The Bulls will retain that and be coming straight back onto the York City Knights here. 10 minutes to go. Massive, massive set in attack this.
Connor Robinson from underneath the York City Knights post over the head of Krasnicki. Krasnicki's just lost the ball backwards. Ethan Ryan has a fumble. The referee looks towards the touch judge on this main stand side, Matt Rossley, and Matt Rossley says that went backwards. The York fans they're up in arms. They're saying it was an error, but the Bulls have got away with that one. Krasnicki on the halfway line on the second tackle. It's going to go back from Wilde to Minchella. Minchella. Hard work down the middle. Third tackle gone. 11 minutes remain. Bradford 14. York 18. Wilde to Lilly. Lilly's flick on pass there to Farrell. Farrell brought down just outside the York 20-metre line. It's now or never, you feel, for the Bradford Bulls. Where's that creative spark? The supporters hold their breath. Lilly to Chisholm to Webster. Webster on this left-hand edge. Brought down 10 metres out. Last tackle in at dummy half to Chisholm. Crossfield kick centre field, and Bradford have come up with the error underneath the post. Chance gone begging. Elliot Minchella let the highest, and he lost the ball on contact with the ground. 10 minutes remain on Pulse 2 this afternoon. We're going the distance, boys and girls. It's Bradford 14, York 18.
Well, this is a game we thought we might have, Mick, certainly coming down the stretch here. Very, very tight. Very, very tight. Not the best attacking kick to end the set there. Bulls need to look for some other options here. I don't know what they are, but maybe some scooting from dummy half and trying to get a good kick away. That was a little bit of a nothing kick from Dane Chisholm, just in around the sticks, finding Minchella, but he was well held, and it never really looked like a try-scoring opportunity. A little penalty there now, and York City Knights coming out of their own 40-metre line. With 10 minutes to go, we said this would go down to the wire, Mick, and it certainly looked like it will. No chance for any errors from any team here. Errors will be crucial for either side here. It's got to be very tight. It's got to be disciplined. And you need to clear that ruck and stay on side, because you cannot afford to give a piggyback here.
This is where those penalties and discipline are going to be paramount. Absolute crucial.
Can you feel the tension around Odsel? I can.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Ben Cockayne, ball in hand, brought down by Wilde. Bradford defending like their lives depend on it. We've got 71 minutes on the clock. 9 minutes remain, and the York City Knights are coming down this middle channel now, and it's a last tackle in front of the post. It's going to be Connor Robinson, an angled kick looking to put Jai Hitchcock's under pressure, but Hitchcock takes the ball there, and he's rolled in the tackle. He's still going forward. York have stolen the ball here. Referee Greg Dolan, though, will put whistle to lips, and here we go. Tempers fairing. They come together. The touch judges are on, Damien. You've got the binoculars out. What's going on?
Oh, there's some people slapping some handbags about there by the look of it. Not much to it all. I think Jai Hitchcock took a little bit of an exception there to the action in the ruck. I think this might be a scrum feed to Bradford Bulls. I don't know if he signalled that yet, but it looked like there might have been two in the tackle before it was stripped one-on-one. So that would be my ruling at the moment. But look, it's going to be tense. It's well handled by the officials here. He's going to pull out two captains and just have a word. All in all, I think he's done quite a good job this afternoon in keeping tensions down and keeping calm heads on the pitch, Mick.
Well, referee Greg Dolan, he does have 6 games Super League experience. He's one of the up-and-coming referees, despite being on the referee ladder. And it will be a scrum head and feed to the Bradford Bulls. So, yeah, despite only refereeing 6 Super League games, he has been a match official for the last 7 years. So, Greg Dolan from Batley has given head and feed to the Bradford Bulls. A crucial period in this game. If that goes to York and York score, it could be good night Vienna, because there's 8 minutes remaining here at Odsal Stadium. What have the Bulls got left in them? This is where they're going to show a lot of character, a lot of belief, the leadership out there, as Wilde to Kirk back on there for his final stint.
They're looking for that match winner now, Mick, both sides. It's Dane Chisholm for Bradford Bulls. Let's see what he can come up with and muster here. He's going to have a few sets to try and pull these points back and equalise or get the points and get the lead for Bradford Bulls. This is what halfbacks are for. This is where they make their money, mate. So let's see what can happen here. It's a decent set coming off the own end, but also very solid in defence here from York as Chisholm brings it to the left edge. Looking for Webster a lot down this left side.
Finds Garside. Garside was asking for support. There was nobody there. Last tackle for the Bulls on the halfway line. Chip over the top from Chisholm to Lilly. Lily's taken out off the ball. Chisholm regathers 5 metres out from the York line. Bull supporters appealing for a penalty try or a sin bin in. It's getting a little bit heated deep in the York goal line between Connor Farrell Chisholm, though, down on the floor. The referee has given a penalty here to the Bradford Bulls. And a huge decision to be made. I think it's just going to be a penalty, Damien.
I think it's a professional foul, Mick. I really do. If you've got a chip kick which is well executed, a player ready to attack that kick in a try-scoring position who's taken out off the ball, it's a professional foul. I'll be very interested to see here, but I'd be going for the yellow card here for the second time in the game for York City Knights. Let's see what the referee does.
Well, the referee's just waiting for Dane Chisholm to get back on side. Lilly was certainly impeded by the York player 30 metres out, and the referee's now calling for a ball, so it's going to be a penalty to the Bradford Bulls, and that will be it. So 11-6 the penalty count this afternoon here on Bradford Bulls Live on Pulse 2, and we've got 7.5 minutes remaining. Is this the set that is going to see the Bulls over for their fourth try of the afternoon? Chisholm finds touch on the far stand side, 20 metres out. It is going to be taken in by Wildy. Wildy to Krasnicki. Krasnicki's brought down just outside the York City Knights 10 metre line. You can almost feel the tension. It's palpable here on the press benches as it goes towards Connor Farrell. Farrell's brought down on tackle number 3. We've now got under 7 minutes remaining, and the Bulls still trail by 4 points. Lilly to Liam Kirk now, and Kirk gets the legs moving forward, and he's inside the York City Knights 10 metre line. Wildy once again back on the reverse, finds Lilly. Lilly to Farrell. Farrell towards the line, 2 metres out there, and that's the fourth tackle gone here for the Bradford Bulls. 6 minutes remaining. Evans out of dummy half along the line to Lilly. Lilly to Kirk. It's broken down here with Liam Kirk, and Kirk's brought down. Last tackle, 10 metres out in front of the York City Knights post. 6.5 minutes remaining. Chisholm, crossfield kick, looking for Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan palms it back to Webster. Misses Webster, back to Garside. Garside to Pickersgill. Pickersgill in centre field to Chisholm. And Chisholm's kick, too much on it. It's taken by Judamaziv. And Judamaziv and York will hold their defensive resilience and nerve, and the score remains Bradford Bulls 14, the York City Knights 18.
It was great work, the kick over to Ethan Ryan's wing, and he's batted it straight back in towards Webster. It was behind Webster. Pickersgill did very well to pick it up and then got it back to Dane Chisholm, but he made the poor option. He had all number of players out to his right in terms of numbers on the ball, needed to go through the hands, has put a kick in. It was too deep and well handled by York City Knights, who are now coming out of their 40 metre line. Worse still, Dane Chisholm limping on his right leg down here on the far side, and it looks like Jai Hitchcoxton or Jordan Lilly, very slow with a left leg issue, getting back on side on the far side. We've also got another player on the ground here, Bradford Bulls have, clutching at his shoulder at the ruck. So it's a little bit of the walking wounded, Mick, and not what you want to see for either side. But with 5 minutes to go, Lily's got an issue, Chisholm has an issue, and yeah, we need to see better ends to the set here. I think Chisholm looks to be okay. He's just got an issue with his right leg there.
Jordan Lilly just...
He's in the wing position on the far side, and he's very ginger there. He's a tough rooster, don't worry about that. He'll stick it out. But, you know, the halfbacks are going to need to step up here and make an effect on the game. I expect the end of this set to be probably a nice settling set for York City Knights and to try and find touch now.
Ben Cockayne at dummy half to Connor Robinson. Connor Robinson sends it towards Pickersgill on this main stand side. He'll return the ball from his own 10 metre line. He meets the York City Knights defence, led there by Bass and Cockayne. Also Hay in there as the third man on the Bradford 20 metre line. He'll get a quick play of the ball in. Wildy out of dummy half there to Crossley. Crossley carries Bradford outside their own 20 metre line. And it's now going to be the third tackle with Webster. Webster still has that strapping across the forehead. We're entering the final 5 minutes here at Odsall now. Farrell to Evans. Evans up to halfway for the Bulls. Fourth tackle gone. They're still 50 metres away from the prize. Farrell tries to win a penalty out of dummy half. And the jeers aren't from the supporters wanting the penalty. It's the decision from Farrell. Last tackle now for the Bulls. Jordan Lilly's kick taken by Jason Bass after he's brought down there by Ethan Ryan and Matt Garside. We've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds This one is going to go the distance. The Bulls still trail by 4 points. And now Matt Garside's giving away a penalty for messing around at the rope. And that is going to take time off the clock. And that's not what the Bulls need. Supporters showing the frustration in the main stand. Connor Robinson will take an eternity to put the ball into touch. And Bradford now have 3 minutes.
Some tired boys in the centre of the park here for York City Knights, some of the big prop forwards. But, you know, that was a let-off there, a very good set, a decent kick and a great kick chase from Ethan Ryan. That penalty, that ill-discipline again has given York a little bit of a piggyback there. They'll close this set down and there might only be the 1 or 2 sets left in the game for Bradford Bulls to try and salvage this game.
Chris bringing out of dummy half. It's safety first from the York City Knights. The 25 metres out from the Bradford Bulls try line in centre field as bringing links with Cockayne. Cockayne to Robinson. Robinson brought down 12 metres out just to the left hand side of the post on tackle number 4. A try now to York would almost certainly end Bradford's unbeaten home record. Matty Marsh is underneath the post and Matty Marsh will end Bradford's unbeaten start here at Odsal in 2014. Matty Marsh underneath the sticks. It's a 4th try of the afternoon for the York City Knights. The York supporters on the far stand side, they jump up and down like they've won the lottery. It's heartbreak for the Bulls and the York City Knights. They're going to go back to back here at Odsal Stadium. 30 points to 28 last July. Here in February 2019, 22 points to 14. A kick from in front of the post, and the Pulse 2 kick predictor says 100% chance Connor Robinson will get this one over. And the body language there of the Bulls, Damien, looking very deflated.
Matt Wildey is absolutely furious behind that in goal, Mick. He is laying down the law in no uncertain terms to a number of players how disappointed he was. And I think it gets back to this penalty down on this short side and some decisions that were made by players there. Look, that's hurt Bradford Bulls in a lot of ways, and they're very upset with that. Matty Wildey is leaving in no uncertain terms his views about that. Athletes don't like losing, and the Bradford Bulls are not enjoying this at all. But credit to York City Knights. They've deserved that. They bounced back from a very strong beginning of the second half from Bradford when they really were on toast, York City Knights. They changed the tempo of the game. They turned the Bulls around and they went from dummy half. Bulls have had our chances in this second half. There's no doubt about that. Sets on the line, enough opportunities with ball in hand for the halves to conjure up points. It didn't happen. I've got to say, I think Bulls have only got ourselves to blame for this one this afternoon, Mick. They've had the opportunities there.
Bradford will try the short restart. Are they about to come up with the ball for the 4th time? Yes, they are, as Liam Kirk is brought down on tackle number 1, 20 metres out from the York line. It's Bradford Bulls 14, York City Knights 24. Connor Robinson converted Matty Marsh's try, but the Bulls, there's literally 70 seconds remaining. Are they about to get a late consolation as it goes out wide to Hitchcox? Hitchcox is in at the corner. The try will be disallowed. He's lost the ball over the line. The referee says Jai Hitchcox has bounced it. The try doesn't count. And the scoreboard remains Bradford Bulls 14, the York City Knights 24. And oh boy, 4 rounds gone. The Bulls are going to be at 50% ahead of next Sunday when Toulouse, the visitors here to Odsal, and Toulouse looking like they're going to pick up a win against Swinton this afternoon. They'll be full of confidence after back-to-back wins. 28 seconds remaining. York are going to tap the ball on their own 20-metre line and they're quickly advancing up to halfway. They're just going to run down the clock here. There's 15 seconds remaining. We'll get Damien's thoughts on the full-time hooter, but we're on air till 5 o'clock this afternoon. And York, via Chris Bringing, he will just kick the ball into touch on the far stand side, and the York City Knights go back-to-back here at Odsal Stadium. 30-28 last season, 24-14 this afternoon.